is Monday. Hope you guys are doing well. I know we usually meet on Friday, but today we have a special night Monday. Just a special Monday night event is what I should be saying. We have a special guest. She is down in Virginia. I've been following her for quite some time now because, as you guys know, I like to see, what people are providing and what services that they are providing to all the notaries in the area, what services they're providing to their community. So that way I can reach out to them and I can give them an opportunity to come tell you guys what is it that they're doing and maybe how you can implement that in your state. So we all know the type of different notary services that you can provide. Tonight, one of the main one we're going to be talking about is the remote online notarization. If you don't know about it, you're gonna learn about it because I have the expert here tonight. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I'm in Massachusetts. For those of you who doesn't know me, I know I'm still a small fish in this notary world. My name is Ismail. I'm the owner of Mandarin Notary Services. We was established in 2017. We provide mobile services, fingerprinting services. We do field inspection and loan signing. But tonight's not about me. It's never about me when I'm doing this. It's about my special guest. You guys may see her on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You are very active on LinkedIn. Mr. Takisha Smith Robinson. Let me not forget the last name before she killed me. She is the proud owner of After Hours VA. I want you guys to welcome her, show her some love, ask your question, and participate. You're all set, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me. It's an honor to finally get on your show because I've been watching you as well over the last few years. So
I
thank you for
appreciate
having me today.
that. Hey, I know we had tried to schedule it a couple months ago, but with everything that was going on, we had to, we had to reschedule. And for those of you, look, she's gonna bring the fire tonight, so don't even worry about it. If you don't know anything about Ron, I guarantee you by the end of the night, you're gonna know something. Like, but it's gonna be up to you to implement what she says, and also up to you to do your own research in your state to see if you are able to do it in your state. So that's one thing I want to make clear. I know certain state allow it, certain state don't. So just take the information, do your research, and if you need more help, just reach back out to her. She'll be happy to assist you. So should I call you Miss Robinson, Takisha Smith?
You can call me Keisha.
Keisha, all right, all right, all right,
That's
Keisha,
fine.
Keisha, all right. So welcome. I appreciate you, joining us tonight. If you wouldn't mind telling everybody a little bit about you for those that doesn't know who you are yet.
Sure, sure. So I am Takisha Smith Robinson. I've branded myself as After Hours VA across all social media platforms. So that's probably what you tend to know me as, After Hours VA. And I started my traditional notary career back in 2012 and then became an e-notary for the state of Virginia in 2015. So been doing it for a little while, going on my 10th year in business, very excited about that. I did share with you, I do run my business on a part-time basis, but that's okay. I've been sticking it out for the last 10 years, so thankful for that. I have put myself out there as a Ron resource. I tend to joke about being a Ron subject matter expert. I don't know everything, not above learning, but been doing it for a little while. So, I do present myself as a Ron notary resource in the community.
Nice. That is awesome. That is awesome. So you say you are going into your 10th year and providing services. What made you start a notary business? Out of everything else you could have got into, a notary business.
Yeah, so originally I started after hours VA, and the VA, I'll let you in on a little secret. It meant virtual assistant, and then it kind of morphed into Virginia.
I
So
see.
I pivoted really quickly early on when I started the business because I was offering virtual assistant services to attorneys, and then also social media management. And then when the social media management piece began to feel too much like work, I quickly kind of got out of that offering that service. So, became a notary to make myself more marketable to attorneys. And then after starting to research the industry, I found that there were more things I could do with the commission, and
Yep.
so that really intrigued me. I do have a bachelor's degree in real estate finance, so this is the closest thing I'm doing with my degree. So that's why, I went full force with loan signing. And that really, that part of the business really intrigued me. I do offer general notary work, apostille services, and again, just being a raw and resource, especially to Virginia notaries. So
Oh wow, that is amazing. So you say you have a bachelor's in real estate
finance.
finance. Wow, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that, to be honest with you. And it's crazy how, a lot of people get degrees where they don't really work on it. It's crazy how what you're doing now kind of support the bachelor degree that you have. Not, a lot of people will probably expect you to be a real estate agent based off just the title alone. But in a way, you're still providing services to real estate agent and investors and title companies. And
Yep.
so you say you are doing this part time, right?
Yes.
All right. So how are you scheduling that, as far as, are you providing more services toward, you know the nighttime? Like, do you stay open at a later time? So how you provide that?
Absolutely. So, my business model is 6 p.m. until, and so I'm open after hours. The banks are closed, evenings, weekends, and that sort of thing. But that doesn't mean that I can't accommodate, day hours. So I work with pretty closely with a real estate attorney here that works with a lot of clients overseas. So their book of business is military, and I do get a lot of power of attorney work. So I'm kind of teetering with people being 6 hours ahead of me and that sort of thing. So that's been working out great. I do schedule signings around my day job hours. So it's all about just accepting what I can, delegating out what I can't, having a network of notaries here where if I can't accommodate something, I have someone else who may can accommodate at that time. Most of my general notary work is on the evenings and weekends, so that works out great. Um, but if I have time during the day, my day job is pretty flexible where I am doing hybrid. So on the days that I know I'm working in the office, I may not accept anything, and on the days that I'm working from home, I'll accept signings if it fits in, a certain time frame. So
Makes sense. Makes sense. And I think that, that's definitely that's a good advantage that you have over other notaries, being able to provide service, at a later time. Because I know in the beginning, I still do every now and then. Somebody reach out to me for a 9 o'clock or 9:30 appointment. So if I'm available, I'll accommodate them. And they usually are, I don't know, they always get excited because it's like, hey, the bank's closed, I can't find anybody else, here you are, you're a lifesaver. And those right there make great for Google reviewers, to be honest with you, because I always ask them,
absolutely.
hey, you don't mind leaving me a review, let me know, based on your experience, especially if it's an after hour one. And I'm telling you, they will take the time out to leave your review to let people know the type of services that you offer. But no, that is great. So I'm just gonna go straight into it because I've been telling people that I was gonna talk to you about Ron. What is it? Like, what the heck is Ron? So if I'm a new notary, I'm just coming in the game and I'm thinking, okay, I'm just gonna do general notary work. somebody talking about, have you tried Ron? I'm gonna be like, who's Ron?
Exactly. And I think 2020 kind of recoined the phrase as RON because we weren't using that acronym before 2020. So
Really?
RON stands for Remote Online Notarization, and it's notary is in one place, customer is in another location, and you're being brought together by video and audio technology. Documents are in electronic format and you're notarizing and e-signing electronically, all online. The key to remote is it's remote and two people are not in the same, vicinity. They're brought together by the audio visual.
Okay, got you. And is there like a, so now I'm approaching this from a new notary standpoint,
Yep.
right? So you say it's all electronic. What about the stamp?
The stamp is electronic as well.
So the
So
stamp
think
electronic.
about having an image of your stamp. We call it an e-seal. So think about
Okay.
having an image of your stamp, applying it to a document. Now it's much more advanced than that. So in order to get started, of course, Ron has to be legal in your state. And most states that Ron is legal in, you have to be a traditional notary first. So you can check that off the box. And then some states require you to go through a separate application process. So they may have you apply for a separate Ron commission because in the state of Virginia, we apply for traditional first,
Yeah.
get that approved, and then we can go back and apply for the electronic notary commission.
Mm.
And so with that, you do have to have what's called a digital certificate, and then as we just talked about, an image of your e-seal.
Oh wow. Okay, got you. And so you mentioned as far as getting the commission for that aspect. So is it like, is are there like training, like if a new notary wanted to, well, first let me just do this. Let me just do that. So if I wanted, let's say my state, I'm able to get run, I'm able to do run in my state. What would be the first step that I would need to do if I'm already a notary?
If you're already a notary, definitely go to start at your Secretary of State website because each state is different. Each state will have requirements. Some states don't make the notary go through a second application process. They may become RON just by virtue of being a traditional notary. So definitely start with your Secretary of State website. All states that are legal RON should have the steps outlined, but I would definitely start with the Secretary of State first. As far as training, Virginia is unfortunately a state that doesn't require notarial training or any, further education. But I do highly suggest everyone go out and, further that education. Um, NNA, National Notary Association, has like a high level Ron webinar that folks can take, and then there are private providers, just like in the loan signing world, that may offer Ron specific training.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So now, um, I'm I'm trying to get this like to a brand new notary because I know what I want to. Well, I know some people out there. So you mentioned certain state does not allow it. Do you know how many state allows run like as of today?
Ooh, I think today, let's see, maybe 34 states. Don't you have to fact check me on that. It might be 38 states.
Okay, got you.
And Massachusetts isn't one of them, is it? I think you guys had emergency laws in place.
Yes, yes, we
Okay.
did during the pandemic. I was hoping that it will stick because I saw a huge increase in business, and then like 3 months later they end up changing their mind. So
Yep.
so I was so I've been hoping that they will bring it back, but I'm not sure. Every time I look it up, they haven't really talked about it yet. So hopefully that's something that they bring back. And if they do, I will definitely, try to get back on there. So how do you market yourself for the remote online notarization?
Basically the same way as the traditional notary. I've made sure all of my notary profiles are updated to include that I am an electronic notary. Um, Google My Business. I know everyone has a free Google My Business page, and if you don't, get one. And then for my general notary work, I do try to convert. customers that do call me and say, hey, we can do this online, but that takes some gauging as well because not everybody is computer savvy. Everyone may not have access to a scanner. So there's certain kind of things and requirements that you do need to complete a run session. And so when I market, I, try to convert general notary clients. I do market to attorneys. I do run work for some title and signing companies. So it's the same in a traditional sense. Even when you sign up for signing services, a couple of them have gone Ron. And so if you've done in-person loan signings and now you've added Ron, that's a plus. Thanks, Sunita. Sunita fact checked and it's 38 states.
38 state. All
Yep.
right, perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. So I know because it's everything that's online, right? And a lot of things that goes online, people might be worrying about the security aspect of it. So how safe is that? Just completing the online notarization. Are there certain platform that a new notary might have to consider? So how safe is that?
Yep. So, I mean, it's pretty safe. Most of the platforms, some states require the platforms to go through a requirement and be approved by the state, while other states have said as long as the platform meets ABCD requirements, you're allowed to use it. And so, with online notarization, what comes into play is identifying the signer. And so, we do that through credential analysis and KBA, which means knowledge based authentication. So, in the traditional sense, when you meet a person in person, they hand over their ID, you look
Yeah,
at the ID, you kind of, you may not have the trained eye to say that that ID is a fake ID.
yeah.
But when notarizing online and that person goes through what we call credential analysis, the software is actually scanning the ID, is checking for any imperfections, it's checking the DMV database,
Wow.
comparing the holograms. So very sophisticated. And I think a lot of people think you just hop online and hold your ID up and the notary, verifies you. And they definitely don't do it that way. And then with the KBA, I mean, that can be up for debate. So what knowledge based authentication is, say like you're going to pull your credit report and it asks you 5 questions only you should know. And
Yeah.
so the person has to not only pass KBA, but they have to pass credential analysis in order to even connect to the notary. So if someone comes to me and they fail that visual and they fail the KBA,
Oh wow.
I won't be able to complete that session.
Wow. That's a like.
It can help and hurt, in a situation where it's a signing, you want to do everything you can to, get that person through. But a lot of times you'll find in the older community, they
Yes.
may not remember which street they grew up on and, 1969. And it's those questions like that are generated from public record that goes into that KBA. Some platforms also use what's known as biometrics. That's a little bit, over my pay grade, but, taking a picture of the person and, matching it to the ID and, doing that behind the scenes there. But most of the platforms are set up and capable to do that. So,
Okay. And do I'm assuming do you have to pay a monthly fee for the platform or is it just a one time fee?
good question. So, I get that question a lot. And so, when I talk about platforms, I like to talk about them kind of in like four different groups. So you
Okay.
have what's called the independent platform, which means you're bringing your own clients in. You're responsible for your marketing. You may pay a monthly subscription, a per session subscription, but you're responsible for billing the client, getting them the document. You're responsible for them getting you the document. So that's what the independent platform is all about. You have the platform, you're ready to go, you bring your own clients. And then you have what's called, I like to call an employer style platform. That's like your Notarize or your Notary Cam, where you log in. They provide you the tools, they provide you the platform for free, but you service their clients. And in return, they pay you just a percentage of that run session. And so that's kind of the employer style platforms.
Okay.
Then you have title lender platforms, which means they again provide you the platform, but you can only service their clients on that particular platform. So an example is like Nexus ClearSign.
Yep.
Amrock uses Nexus ClearSign, so
Yep.
I utilize that a lot. But I can only do my Amrock signings as they get assigned to me. Also, the same like Pavaso. You only have access to that platform with certain title or signing companies that utilize that platform, and then what they do is upload the documents for you, and then you, as the notary, take care of the raw session. And then the last type of platform is what I like to call a hybrid. So it's in between a independent and employer style platform. So you can not only bring your own clients, but then you may have the ability to service their clients as well. And so we've seen some of those pop up in 2021, like your one notary.us. There's some others if they're still around that work on that type of business model. So it
Okay.
depends on the platform. It's going to depend on the cost. So
I see. I see. Wow. So would you, let's say if you are doing the independent platform, what, I'm not asking for like for a specific number as far as your fees, like are you able to price it based off general notary, or are you able, oh, because it's online, is it cheaper, or can you raise your prices?
okay, so I'll start with the blanketed statement. It is state specific. So in Virginia, we're allowed to charge $25 per notarial act. And then some states have even said the notary can charge a convenience fee and that type of thing. Sort of like we charge travel fees in a
Yes.
traditional sense. And then some states have come down the pipeline and said, no, you only can charge per notarial act, no convenience fee, no technology fee. So, for example, if you're in the state of Maryland,
Yep.
Maryland is Ron approved. Maryland notaries can only charge $4 per notarial act for electronic Ron sessions. And so, if you have a platform that you're paying $75 a month for, it may not be financially feasible for you to do so. You may want to take another route and seek out the title lender platforms where they're giving you the work and you don't have to, pay that associated cost with the platform. So the state sets the fee. When it comes to loan signings, it's just like in the traditional sense. You get paid that flat fee, and that's something you negotiate with the signing company, or, if you have a real estate attorney coming to you, those fees can be negotiated. I say just document in your journal. You only want to include the fee for the actual notarial act. Anything outside of that, you want to make sure you have it documented on your invoice, so no one can come back and say, well, they charged me $100 and in Virginia, you only can charge 25. So it's all about documenting. We do that anyways, just like, the self-employment tax and that sort of thing when it comes to um, what's exempt for the notary fees. You want to treat it the same way.
Got you. Got you. Wow. That is, and it's funny that you mentioned the journal. I know there are notaries out there that's not even keeping journal for, just basic notary work. Now, I can only imagine the hassle of doing the online notarization, not keeping a journal, which, that right there can cost somebody their commission. So it's so how important it is for them to know the state laws regarding based on what you just said.
Very important. So, example, in the state of Virginia, as a traditional notary, we are not required to keep a journal, but of course, if you follow the NNA guidelines, it is best practice to keep the journal. Well, in the electronic sense, we are required to keep a journal. Not
Mm,
only are we required to keep an e-journal, an electronic journal, we're also required to keep the videos for 5 years. So the video session is being kept by the notary as well as the electronic journal. And all platforms will provide some sort of electronic journal. So just think
okay.
about your paper journal going online. And most of the platforms have it set up for when you set up the session, you can put in the name and the date and the type of notarial acts and the fees you charge, and it automatically inputs that information into the journal. And then at the end of the session, you can download that journal entry and then the video. goes along with. So most states that don't require the journal in the traditional sense, they do
Yeah.
require it in the Ron space.
Oh wow. See, I didn't I didn't know that because I'm over here thinking that if you do it, you can just use just your basic, notary journal. But I had no idea about it's required for you to keep the video recording for 5 years.
So in the state of Virginia is 5 and Florida is 10 years. So again, just going back to what your state requires.
Okay, so another thing is, so the platform that you're using, they are providing you with as far as what's the word I'm looking for? Oh man, they are providing you with the software to keep those recording, or do you have to keep them on your personal laptop?
It depends. It depends on the platform, and each have their own, set of features. Um, what I usually do, it doesn't matter what platform I'm on. I make it a best practice after every run session. I'm downloading the video and I'm downloading the journal entry. So I have it here. Solid state hard drive. You can't see it. It's like 2 terabytes. And so I've just gotten in the habit of just downloading that data after each session, whether I'm on AMROC, whether I'm on Notarize, whether I'm on secured signing. I just made it my best practice. And so I have folders kept with the date, last name, and then the contents inside that folder. Now, because it's been a big fuss in the industry, some platforms have come down the pipeline and say, hey, I'll keep your video as long as your state is required, but they didn't really start offering that to until most recently. But just still make it a best practice to keep it on my own, because if you were to get called into court, you'd
Yes.
have to contact the provider. That information may not be there anymore. So you definitely want to cover yourself. So I don't think it's overkill. I think it just should be a best practice that you also have a copy of everything as well.
Okay, got you. So, how important it is for a new notary to know to how to actually notarize, because they might be thinking, you know what, it's online, so I don't really have to do much. But
It,
I know we
it,
talk.
yeah, it's definitely very important. And I think we've seen a lot of this in 2020 when, the pandemic hit and people were forced to
Yes.
go remote without knowing anything. And I would see it in the Facebook groups. Hey, I just got my traditional notary, and 2 days later they're on. And I tell everyone, seek out that notarial law training, because what happens is these platforms,
Mhm.
with the exception of maybe two, they do not teach you how to be a notary. They teach you how to use the software. They teach you where to click, where to put this, and that's it. They do not teach you how to be a notary. So when you're online with a client, you have to know your state laws. You have to know what venue means. You have to know that proper notarial verbiage,
Yes.
and so notarial law is very important. Any new notary that slips into my inbox, the first thing I say, where did you get training? And they'll always say, oh, I did my loan signing training, and that's all gravy. But did you get specific notarial law training? And
Yes.
again, I know Virginia doesn't offer it, but I refer everybody either to the NNA, or we have a local notary here that's been in business 20 plus years. She provides notarial law training. So I always give out that resource. Even if you just download your handbook and order the primer, at least you're reading,
Yeah.
you know. So definitely want to know how to be a good notary first to be a great Ron or a great loan signing agent.
Look at that. Look at that. See, I just like how that's also required for general notary work. Also required if you're doing it online. So for those of you who are watching, I know we are always stressing the importance of knowing your state laws, the importance of understanding how to properly notarize. So do not look at Ron as a way to get out of being physically at an appointment. Yes, it is, but at the same time, you still need to understand how to properly notarize, because it's already bad enough if you messed up in person. I can only imagine the headache if you screw up doing it electronically and everything already been sent. So have you had a situation where maybe it wasn't you, maybe it's someone you know made a mistake? Like, how do you? Because here, if I go to an appointment and let's say I miss his signature, I can always go back there. But if the way you explain it, how they have to go through all this process before they can be on the video with you. So what happened if the notary messed up?
In most cases, depending on the platform, you may have to do the session all over again. Um, some sessions don't provide for in-session editing. So if you upload a document and you tag it and you forget to tag a signature line and you go through the whole loan signing and then you end it and realize, oh, I didn't put a signature tag here, the
Oh
person didn't
man,
sign, they may have to come back through the platform with maybe that one document, but it's
okay,
definitely on the notary. Um, I had a situation where I don't do a lot of Florida properties, but lately I've been doing a ton of Florida properties. Didn't know the witness laws and didn't have a witness on that deed, and so um, I was processing it through a signing company, and so I called the guy. He happened to be, I think, in the UK, and I just apologized. I said I didn't know we needed a witness for the Florida property. Notary can be one, and then
yes,
I got a friend of mine who's another notary, so I kept her on standby so that whenever I had Florida properties coming up with this particular signing company, she could be on standby to be another witness. And we didn't have to redo the whole session, but we redid the deed, and it was on me to pay the additional fees to the platform because I messed up not having that witness. So
got you. So
it,
if
it
you're sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you're providing a witness, do they have to go through that whole background check as well to be a witness?
It depends. I guess it depends. So if you're doing a credible witness session, which means the credible witness is verifying the identity of the signer,
Yep.
yes, they have to go through KBA. But if you just have a witness simply doing the reviewing the signature of the signer on a deed and not a credible witness, they don't, but it depends. I happen to know that notary, so I put personal knowledge. But yeah, of course, if it's a person you're grabbing off the street, then yeah, they may have to go through, KBA. So that's why it's best to use someone in that situation as a witness. That's why we want to have our network of notaries because you never know when you have to refer work or pull on someone to become a witness. But yes and no, it depends on the situation. And so, with that being said, that's why it's so important to explain the process because title and signing companies, they just want to get it done and they don't realize how much work goes behind the scene. If you have two signers and one fails, the session will not move forward. They both have to pass. And
Oh,
so a
really?
lot of people don't understand that. They're like, well, my wife passed. I can just hop on. No, it doesn't work like that. You both have to go through the credential analysis and the ID verification.
Wow.
So that's another level of
I didn't know that.
frustration people can have.
I did not know that because I assume where, let's say, if my wife is signing, we both signing. So if she gets on, I can just. That's what I was thinking too. I probably have been that guy. Like, no, I'm.
And we've had some of that too, but yes, all signers have to go through the ID process. Now, of course, just like in the traditional sense, if you personally know someone, and I've notarized a couple of friends that I personally know. I've had dinner with them. I know their kids.
Yeah.
I know six things about them because I know that can be all relative to personally known. Um, but you do have platforms where you can check personally known, and that person may come through the platform with just like a four-digit ID. So you can do that in the Ron space, personal
Okay.
knowledge, if
Got you.
your state requires, I mean, allows you to do personal
Yep. If you
knowledge.
stay alive. So, would you? So do you need? Because I don't remember if you said. So for Arizona Mission, do you purchase that separately for Ron, or can you still use the one you have just for your traditional notary?
So I have just the normal E&O, and I know that's been a big thing. Arizona Missions doesn't cover my loan signing stuff. But we all run businesses, so I
Yep.
do have a business insurance policy. I do have errors and omissions. I do have the cybersecurity policy. So, you just want to have extra things in place just in case. But it goes back to, are you notarizing the document properly? That's the first thing. That's when E&O kicks in if you did something wrong in that aspect. Now, data breaches and things like that, that's why you want to look into the cybersecurity insurance, just in case, because we are online, people can hack emails and that
Yes,
sort of
they
thing.
can.
So
Yes, they can. Oh man, hold on, let me see if we have any question on here. How do you rectify an error on a notary? How do you rectify an error? I think that's what we just talked about with the errors in the mission, being able to protect yourself. So look, it's very important. I know some notaries are out there, they're writing dirty. They don't want to get that errors in the mission. Look, if you care about your business, if you want to run your business like a business, not a side hustle, get that errors in the mission. You have to be willing to protect yourself.
definitely.
Because if you don't, and God forbid something happen, you are going to be held liable for that error. Versus if you have the insurance, just think of it as car insurance. When you
Hmm.
get into a car accident, they don't personally come after you; they go after your insurance because you have coverage. Same thing here. If you have that coverage, you make a mistake, the company is whoever's, trying to file a lawsuit, they'll just go after your coverage. They won't personally come, try to take your house, take your car. Look, just get the damn thing. like, like
Absolutely.
I
And
know
then
I know people who says that, oh well, you don't really need it, this and that. But look, I highly recommend you guys to get it. Like I believe the NNA offers it for, I think there was one for like 50,000, like $100, like for a year or something like that. Like just get it. Like it won't hurt. It really won't hurt your business. So let me
yeah, it's just a peace of mind. And I will throw in that, remember with Ron, you're on video. So if you say something wrong, if you say something that'll incriminate yourself, you're on video. And so we used to have that question a lot, like, how do you know if someone is under duress and that sort of thing? And at the end of the day, you still have to be a notary, whether it's
yeah.
in person or online. If you're not comfortable notarizing a document online, or you feel like something is going on, or you're looking, the person is giving you eye contact or clues that something is not right, you do have the ability to not move forward. And that's whether you're on an employer style platform or you're doing it independently. Just because you work on a platform for someone doesn't mean you have to go through with the transaction. You still have to do your due diligence at the end of the day. Still have to have your notary hat on at the end of the day. So
That right there was a key point because I was about to ask you that, but you just answered it because I've been to appointments where I'm at the point now. If I go to an appointment and the wife or the husband say, "I don't want to sign this," she's forcing me or he's forcing me to sign it. I don't care if they joking. I cancel the appointment. You know,
absolutely. And I get a
like,
lot of that online. Like
like
people will joke and laugh, and I'm like, hey, listen, this is being recorded.
yeah,
And I'm a jokester. I get it. I have a little sarcasm in me too, believe it or not. I think in my next life I'll be a comedian. But you know, on camera is not the time to joke,
no,
and I get it all the time. I get it all the time, but once I say, this is being recorded and I may have to, terminate. Oh, no, 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 I was just joking. I was, but you never can be too careful. So
yeah, no. So so that's good to know that I'm not the only one that does that. So another thing that I wanted to ask you regarding to Ron, right? So if I if my state does allow it, and let's say I'm still gonna use the fact that I'm a new notary. Okay, would you recommend that I jump straight to remote online notarization, or would you say, okay, at least get maybe 6 months of doing general notary work, then jump on there. Because right now, what I'm seeing, a lot of people they are jumping to that. They have that shining, the shining object syndrome. Like they don't want to take the time to invest in themselves. They don't want to take the time to educate themselves. As soon as they hear two or three other notaries talking about it, they jump right in. So now that's causing an issue for the notaries that's been doing it, that has a good reputation. Now we have a bunch of new notaries coming in, and they are completing stuff. They're making all type of errors. So would you recommend someone, hey, you know what, at least be a general notary for at least 6 months or 12 months before you get into this?
Absolutely, and I probably get flack for saying it. Like I don't want to put a time frame on it. I think everyone knows, their level of learning and how they learn. What I usually say is even if it's not 3 months, 6 months, I don't want to say that cuz some people may pick it up faster than others.
Okay.
If you can demonstrate you know how to fill out a notarial certificate, if you can demonstrate you know what venue is, um, with what do you put behind the word buy? If you've watched Uncle Griff's videos, at least that, if you've got that foundation, and you feel pretty comfortable to move forward because the rest is just technology. But, again, you have to know notarial laws. I don't agree with, being a notary for a week and then being a Ron the next. I don't agree, but I do recognize that people learn faster than others.
Okay.
They may have been in other industries that afforded them, a different level of education. So it just depends. I think when the person is comfortable to move on and they can demonstrate that they have, all the notarial training that they can, um, then maybe look into it. And let's face it, Ron isn't for everyone. It's not for every notary. It's not for every customer. I do feel like if it's legal in your state, at least attempt to get the commission because, like I said before, we were so reactive in 2020 and all the states wanted to adopt emergency laws and people weren't ready. So I will say if it's legal in your state, even if you don't get on a platform within the 6 months or a year. At least get it to have it in your back pocket. You'll have it for 4 years. You don't have anything to lose. I would rather you have it than be
Yeah,
forced to get it.
makes sense. That right there makes sense. So now, I'm really gonna be looking into the Massachusetts notary laws and rules to see if there's any new changes that's going to happen. But because I feel like that's something I will probably enjoy doing, because I don't know, it's I like learning new stuff, and
Hmm.
if I'm able to provide services to people in the area, just best of that, even people that's not from this area, I get people that call me all the time still asking me if I can notarize stuff for them online, and I'm like, I can't do it, but it's very unfortunate. So beside that, I know we talked about Ron, so I wanted to ask you, as far as your goals, like what are your goals for your company as you continue to grow? Like where do you see yourself in a couple years?
In a
Let's say
few
2 years.
years, I do want to be known as a expert in the industry when it comes to Ron. So that's a goal of mine. Um, I wrote a e-guide a couple years ago, and I feel like it did really well. So I'd like to attempt to kind of dust that off and maybe create a new Ron e-guide. I know there's a ton of courses, so I'm trying to navigate through that. Because what's missing is I get a lot of people who want to get into Ron and they've taken 30 courses, and by the time they get to me, I'm like, I don't know how I can help you. But what's missing is the hands-on.
Yeah,
And it's not a lot of that. Like people have the high level, what is Ron? Okay, I need to get this type of equipment. But a lot of people are missing out on kind of the hands-on. People just I wanna see how this is done. And a lot of the platforms they don't provide a sandbox. So whatever platform I've used and tested was on my own dime, pretty much. And so I like to get a platform, test it from the notary side, test it from the customer side so I can provide that great customer service because Ron is great. It's frustrating when it doesn't work. And so you know how technology is. It's great, but when it doesn't work, it's very frustrating on both the notary and the customer. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So, um, is that still available as far as what you the book?
it's not. I took it down. I think I wrote it maybe in 2017. So a lot has,
Oh
changed then.
yeah,
And it was more of a resource guide, how to get started, that sort of thing. So I've been playing around with the idea. Um, but, goals for my business is just being more on the forefront, you know, doing a lot of networking and that type of thing. I realize my goals may be different from others. So I can't teach a person how to make six figures on Ron because I don't make six figures on Ron. So can't teach on that.
yeah,
But, I can share on, what I think I've become successful as and what success means to me. So
yeah.
definitely can share, those type of resources. So
Perfect, perfect. And are you working on any projects right now? Because I've been seeing you on LinkedIn a lot. Uh, LinkedIn,
um
Facebook. What are you working on right now?
Let's see. Got a couple speaking engagements if you're thinking about that. So, I am doing some apostle training with Capri Bland. She's also a Virginia notary here in the Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads area, and so that's July 15th at 8 p.m. I'm also attending her conference. It's the second annual Sip and Stamp in Portsmouth, Virginia, and I'll be a speaker there. And I'm putting on a mini Ron masterclass. So that's
Nice.
July 23rd. Um,
Be there.
I've been trying to pick up more like community events. So last month I ran two free notarization community days down at the supermarket in my neighborhood, and that went really well. And then I'm also working with another notary, and we're doing notary meetups. So we had one last weekend, and so I'm having another one on July 30th in the Richmond area. Free meetup for Virginia notaries. And what the agenda would be is just like mix and mingle for the first hour. We'll pick a notary law, out of either the handbook or primer or the guiding principles. And then that third section of the notary meetup will just be Q&A because we recognize in the community the notarial training is missing. And while meetups are great, to eat and drink and that sort of
Yeah,
thing, because I love to do that, we're trying to incorporate more of the training aspect. And so at the last meetup, the notary who hosted it, she explained one of the guiding principles. And if you don't know what the guiding principles are, they're on the NNA website. It's 10 of them, and she chose the first one. And we kind of went through some scenarios on how to best understand that guiding principle. So we're going to just take it a step further and have one each month. And like I said, pick something out of the handbook or the primer to kind of really get folks engaged and talking about, these scenarios that we have going on. So
that is awesome. I'm seeing if we have any more questions on the chat. Um, so I usually do a giveaway on here, but tonight's giveaway is sponsored by Bella's Coaching and Consulting Academy. I was reached out to by Miss Samantha from that company. I'm an awesome business coach. So the giveaway tonight is a 1 hour business consultant with Bella's Coaching and Consulting Academy. So now I want you to ask them a question based on what you like, based on what we've been talking about. I'm not sure whoever gets it will get that 1 hour coaching, and I will provide you guys with the information to reach out to Miss Samantha. And which question you want to ask them?
sure. So what is the allowed fee to charge for remote online notarization?
Ooh, let me type it up so I can show it to them. So giveaway question: what is it? Said the online fee? to charge for online. Hold on. Even I don't get what's the question again.
What is the fee we are allowed to charge for remote online notarization?
All right.
It's a trick question.
When you say we, talk about in VA, right?
Could be not.
All right, hold on. What is the fee to charge for remote online authorization? All right, so that is the question for tonight giveaway. What is the fee to charge for remote online notarization? Miss Pamela Williams. Shout out to Pamela. She's always on here, always providing support. She saved $25.
And so for the state of Virginia, it is 25, but again, this is going to be
Oh yeah, she's
state
oh sorry. She saved
specific.
$25 per your state. So,
Yeah,
so
it's
she-
it's gonna be, yep, definitely state specific. Not all states have that fee. And I did see a question. I didn't skip over it about someone was asking like what platforms I use. I didn't know if you wanted me to answer
okay,
that, but
hold on. So are we going with Miss Pamela's answer?
yes, I think by default
All
Miss
right, all
Williams won.
right, no problem. Well, I'm just gonna write your name down, Miss Pamela. Just reach out to me on Instagram at Matherin Notary, and I will provide you with the information to reach out to Bella's Coaching and Consulting Academy. They will provide you with 1 hour business coaching, and just meet with them and just conversate about your business and your plans and your goals to see how they can provide value to you. Okay, so which question you wanted me to go to?
uh Dolores asks, "How long have I been a Ron, and which Ron platform do I
Yes.
use?" And so I've been doing remote notary since 2015, and so people who've heard me speak before know I like to brag on Notarize. So that's where I got my start. I was one of the first Virginia notaries that they hired, and so I beta tested the platform back in 2015, 2016 before they launched. So that's where I got my experience. So when we talk about like what platforms you should get on, I always recommend Notarize to the new notary if it's available in your state, because not only do they provide training on the platform, they have a legal department that helps with notaries knowing their notarial law. So that's why I said there's some platforms that will only give you platform training, and then there's some platforms that are invested in the notary themselves that will make sure you have that background knowledge of your state laws and that sort of thing. So the platforms I currently use, I'm on Secured Signing as the independent platform. I have access to Nexus Clear Sign because I do a lot of RON work with Amrock. Um, and then I'm looking at a few. I've been on Doc Verify and then some of the others, but I'm always vetting, a platform to see who has the latest features that we need, because not one platform has all the features that I like. And so I'm constantly, reading up and vetting new platforms. So I don't
Nice.
have a favorite.
That is awesome. Let me see. Do you do both loan signing and general notary on Ron? That
Yes.
was one of the questions that they asked.
Yes, on the independent platform, I do a lot of seller side packages because those are typically approved faster than others. With Amrock, it's a lot of loan refinances going on with Ron. So if you're doing any type of purchases, that has to be lender approved, and then sometimes the lender may require a certain platform that you use. But yes, definitely loan signings can be done on Ron.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So again, congratulations, Pamela. Don't forget to reach out to me on Instagram at Matter and Notary. And a few questions I have for you. What are some advices that you can give new notaries that just coming into this industry that's thinking that they can make the $10,000
um,
monthly?
for the most part, you want to do your research. Again, you want to get that basic. notary foundation, which is notarial law. You have to get that down pat in order to grow. Um, Other advice as it relates to Ron, again, you want to research because it may not be financially feasible for all notaries to jump right into Ron, because I've seen people jump on a platform and they say, "Oh, signed up and it was $200. Now, how do I get clients?" So you definitely, the main thing is just researching the market. Putting a plan together, especially if you want to be independent out the gate. It's just like when people want to
Yes.
go direct with title. You definitely have to have a marketing plan in place to go direct. And the same with Ron. You definitely have to have a marketing plan in place to get clients to come to you. So I say research, knowing your notarial laws, network with people in your backyard. Don't look at it as if it's competition, because I've built some great friendships. I have a network of notaries here in Virginia because, listen, I can't take all the work, but I like to provide assistance to others if they call me and I can't accommodate them. So having a network of notaries, um, and maybe having an accountability partner.
That's good. That's good. As you guys can hear, she did say, make sure you know your state laws. You'll never get away from that. You will never get away from that. That's one thing that I can tell you guys. Well, my advice is pretty much, I'm just gonna piggyback off hers. Knowing your state laws, knowing what you can and cannot do, and understanding the reason why you're doing this, because most likely you won't make that $10,000 that you're seeing everybody talking and bragging about. And I need you to understand that for those who use certain CRM like Notary Gadget, they are able to put any fees on there. So if somebody, so if I want to go on Notary Gadget right now and change my fee to like one signing at $5,000 just to go on Facebook and show people I made $5,000 this month, I can. So some of these folks out there, they are not being honest. So I would say focus on your business model. Find out the reason why you want to do this business, because there's gonna be some busy months. There's gonna be some slow months. So if you don't have a reason why you truly want to be in this business, just don't get into it, because I'm not saying it's impo- it's not I'm not saying it's impossible to make $10,000, but you're going to have to put in the work. And I don't want you to come in here as a new notary, thinking that you can make it off your first month, and when you don't, you get disappointed. You don't. You start being nasty towards your customers, and you no longer want to get in the business. So understand why you want to do this, and be willing to invest in yourself and educate yourself, because it can be very rewarding. At the same time, if you're not willing to know how to properly notarize, you won't last long. So that's all I want to say. That's my advice to you all. I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. I know it's Monday, the start of the week. We usually meet on Fridays, but we had to get Miss Keisha here. Like, we had to, because she's all over the place providing services. I can't wait to meet you next month. Well, so it's gonna be a first for everybody. Meeting you, meeting Griff,
Oh yeah, yeah,
meeting everybody for the first time at that
awesome.
event. So it's definitely going to be a good one. So I do appreciate you taking the time out, and I wish you nothing but the best. Keep doing what you are doing, keep being a positive role model, and keep willing to educate others, because there's a lot of people in this industry. They feel like, if I tell someone about this, it's like I'm losing money. But there's enough opportunities in the industry for everyone. You just have to find your niche, and recognize exactly what it is that you want to do, and how you can be of service to people, and not just trying to take somebody's money and they can't reach you 2 days later. There's a lot of you guys out there. I'm just throwing it out there, but seriously. But I do appreciate you tuning in tonight. I really appreciate you and accepting the invite, and I can't wait to meet you all. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It
And
will be.
and I did tell Capri that I'm driving the mobile office down. I'm not coming.
Oh yeah, I saw that interview. Yep. She's gonna hold you to it too.
So I'm not renting any car. I'm bringing down the mobile office just so I can meet everyone. All right.
Awesome.
So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great night. Hope you guys be safe. If you need to reach out to me, you can reach out at Mentor and Notary Services. If they want to reach out to you, where do you prefer them reach out to you? Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn?
Doesn't matter. I'm after hours VA across all social media platforms, so it's easy to find me. So whatever's easiest for you.
All right, that is awesome. All right, with that being said, you guys have a great night and be safe.